Hey guys, welcome back. I just posted a video and had to take it down, and I'm re-recording it because I had electrical interference with my posting. And so I have a new phone and a new phone number. If you guys are dealing with a narcissist, I highly recommend you get a new phone and a new phone number. The narcissist is obsessed and they stalk and they do all kinds of things. And if you really want to be free, you need to get a new phone and a new phone number. You need to put up security cameras. You need to change your locks. You do. Anyways, redoing this video. My channel has grown quite a bit. And so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Curtis. I am a narcissist abuse survivor. I was married to a covert, malignant narcissist, a psychopath, and I grew up with a father who was the same. And so I make content and I do some stuff, a lot of chosen one stuff, narcissist content. Everybody's welcome. And so this video is going to be karma of the narcissist versus the ascension of the chosen one. So let's jump into that, and let's start with the karma of the narcissist. Okay? So you've been with the narcissist and you know how afflicted they are. You know how dysfunctional they are. The narcissist was getting their karma before you, when they were with you, and after you. There's this sort of push that people think that they're looking for some event. And I don't think that's really the case, but even if there was, God would remove you from that. You wouldn't have anything to do with that. You probably wouldn't see if there was an event. But they, like, and not trying to trigger you, but you guys are in a long line, a long list of people that the narcissist is getting their karma for. Right? And they're constantly getting it. They're getting it every day. They're living it every day. And you saw it when you were with them, but you just didn't know it. That's why they wanted you. That's why they wanted to be with you, because they wanted to escape that reaping. They wanted to escape that karma. They wanted to escape reality because they live in a delusion. So they got with you and they tried to put your identity on to wear you, like putting on a jacket, to be you and to make you their emotional trash can, swap with you, identity swap with you, destiny swap with you, have you take all their sin and all their reaping, get you to take it, get you to consent to that so that they could elevate. That's what they do. Because they're narcissists, they're demons. That's what they do. So they are living that. They are trying to escape that. They are trying to escape reality into their delusion. They are trying to build a web so that when their karma comes, that the karma goes out into the web, and everybody who's a part of it, who's taken part of it, they're flying monkeys, this and that, everybody's a part of the reaping instead of just them, because they can't accept accountability and they can't accept their karma. They're trying to get rid of it because they're dead. They're dead inside. They're spiritually dead, and they've done so much horrific, horrible spiritual atrocities and crimes that they're trying to get out of it, and they're trying to find someone, something to put that on to get away from it. And when they find a chosen one, they find their best elevation. They find the closest that they can get to Christ. They find their highest thing, but when the chosen one unplugs is when they fall. So really, we shouldn't be worried about revenge. We shouldn't be worried about anything having to do with that they did all this or whatever. We should just be letting them go and moving on and growing, because you're just a long line in a list of karma. I mean, they've ruined their kids' lives, they've ruined their families' lives, they've ruined their lives, they've ruined everybody who's ever been in their lives. They've stolen from everybody, they've burned bridges. That's why they move to different towns. It's why they try and find people, because they can't get supply from where they're from, but they can't detach from the family where they're from. So they want to try and change and shapeshift and change their appearance. They want to try and move to a different town. But ultimately, they end up back where they started because they're cursed. And they can't be with you. They can't be with you, and you can't be with them because they're cursed. I can't stress that enough, that the narcissist is cursed. I've said that in a lot of my videos. They are cursed. They are the walking dead. They can't be with you because they can't receive your blessings. They can't steal them. They can't be with you no matter how much they try, no matter what happens. They can't be with you. They are cursed. I cannot stress that enough. So if we go to Hebrews 7:7, this sheds a little bit of light on that, okay? So this is King James. This is the King James Bible, Hebrews 7:7. And without all contradiction, the less is blessed by the greater. The less is blessed by the greater. So if we look to a different translation, and we look online, it says, and without doubt, the lesser is blessed by the greater. And without question, the person who has the power to give a blessing is greater than the one who is blessed. It is beyond dispute that the inferior is blessed by the superior, and indisputably the lesser is blessed by the greater. So when the narcissist is with you, they're getting blessed by your consent. They're getting blessed by being with you. That's why they seek us out. Because they can take that, they can manifest from that, they can escape their reaping for a time, and they can get good from you. Because you deserved it, because you've sowed good, because you're a good person. And the narcissist, that's what they seek to steal. It's energy harvesting. That's what they do. They're energy vampires. They use that to get by. They use that like a stepping stone. That was always the goal. They were never going to stay with you, be with you. There's no person in there. They don't know who they are. That's why they're cursed. There's no person in there. They can't be with you. They can't give you themselves because there's no person to give. They have no idea what they're doing or who they are. They're just an empty shell guided by dark spirits, by demons. That's all they are. So if you're taking a switch over to the chosen one, in my situation, I woke up to narcissistic abuse and had my awakening like at the same time. I had a double whammy. I literally woke up in the face of black eyes in a moment, entered into the narcissist, and everything was revealed to me. Everything the narcissist was doing. Everything the narcissist was, and that the narcissist wanted to kill me. Full of jealousy, rage, and envy. Hated me for all the good that I did. For providing a perfect life of your dreams that, I don't know, a woman would die for, to have that kind of life. The narcissist hated me for it, envied me and that, and wanted to destroy me. All that being revealed to me was the hardest blow that I took. That this person that I had loved and given so much to actually wanted to do that to me, viewed me in that way. I thought I was dealing with somebody who was mentally ill. I didn't think I was dealing with a host of demons, but I was. And when I had awakened and started to go through my ascension, during that time, the divorce was in progress, the final discard was in progress, that whole thing. We have the final discard as the real person. We're the ones who decide that we're going to go no contact. The narcissist just wants to put you on a shelf, put you in their harem, and go around, do what they do, and come back and get to you. They literally think that they've got you, they own you, and they can go rule the world. Yeah, but they can't. And so, in my situation, I was going through ascension and I was going through awakening as I was waking up to narcissism. And everything that was a narcissist was revealed to me. Everything that the narcissist had did, the cheating, everything, all that stuff was revealed to me. Like having an agenda to end me and all that stuff. And that was the hardest blow I took. Like, that's who you are? This whole time I took you in, loved you, took care of that's who you are? That was my hardest blow. But, I entered into a time of, prayer and rest and ascension. And it ended up being that everything that I was going through, everything that I, had awakened to, all that stuff just became so irrelevant, so insignificant, because I was being blessed. I was being anointed. I was being grown. I was being revealed to. And all this stuff was happening. I was so focused on my relationship with God. I was so focused on the things that were happening. Like, I could not possibly care any less about that filthy, disgusting narcissist and the divorce that I was going through than I was about that these things were being revealed to me, that I was, awakening, and I was being healed. And I was so focused on my relationship with God. I was so focused on being big blessed. I was so focused on this stuff that was going on that it didn't even matter. It didn't even register. It wasn't even like background noise. It was like so insignificant. It was like grains of sand in my backyard that I couldn't find. I didn't even care. I literally didn't. What was supposed to be the worst blow to me, oh man, being stolen from, having my house ravaged, being abused, and being discarded. Oh yeah, all that stuff. And then it being the end, and I'm divorcing you. And let me just tell you how the narcissist marched up to my front door and just gave me the divorce papers herself. Like, oh, this is gonna ruin your night. And I was like, thanks. I didn't even care. It didn't even matter. The narcissist is a fool, is a tool of Satan. I don't even care. It didn't matter. I was going through all that stuff. I was being healed and awakened, and I was going through serious ascension symptoms. I mean, I was dealing with lots of ascension symptoms, like restlessness, insomnia. Plus, I was recovering from narcissistic abuse, what had been revealed to me. And, some of the other stuff with ascension symptoms was, smelling foul smells. Anxiety, some things like that. I definitely had some stuff I had to overcome, but I just kept to myself. I stayed in, and I prayed through it and got through that stuff, and everything was revealed to me, my anointing, that I was a chosen one, everything about my whole life, my whole identity, everything. I got everything. But if you think about it, the way things work with a narcissist, and you're in the relationship with the narcissist, they're constantly trying to drive you down, beat you down, and destroy you to elevate themselves. They're constantly doing, that's their whole goal, is to drive you down, beat you down so that they can elevate. Well, what happens in my case as a chosen one, when you start to wake up and you start to take your power back, it's like a spiritual divorce that happens. And you go into the spirit and you break the covenant and the consent. And when that stuff starts to break, as you're elevating in your ascension and your awakening, they're going down. It's going back in reverse. And what is a blessing for you ends up being a horrible experience for them. Like, I, at that point in time, still had access to my narcissist. And I saw horrible things happening to my narcissist. And I saw lots of affliction. Like a rotten stomach, nausea, a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of afflictions happening. And I was just getting to where I could start to see in the spirit before I had woken up. I had started to see demonic manifestations. I had started to see, demonic manifestations in the face. I started to see some things happening around the house, some paranormal things and stuff like that. And I was at a point where I wasn't really awake and I didn't really have the answers to things, but I was speaking from the spirit. And it's not that I was doing it intentionally. I was still cool. I was still cool husband, and I was still me and stuff like that. But I was delivering like massive narcissistic injuries, just speaking the truth about some things. And I was like, you are toxic. That's toxic. Look, what is wrong with you? And I got to the point where I started seeing the things that happen in the face of the narcissist. I started seeing in the spirit. And I got to the point where I got real comfortable with it because it was happening so much. I mean, I saw it a lot of times. It wasn't just like once or twice. I mean, I saw it a lot of times. I got to the point where the narcissist would go into this demonic rage and narcissistic rage against me. And I would stand there and fearlessly look in the face of this demon. And I would say, I see you. I see you. And I would be like, do you know who I am? And the narcissist would be like, and not say anything. And I'm telling you, like, these things would happen, and I would just stand there. And the narcissists, they don't know they're doing it. They cannot keep from manifesting these things. Once you get to a point where you can elevate and see it, that means your frequency is higher. That's why they want to keep us in a low frequency, because when you're in a low frequency, you can't see it. But once you start to elevate, you can see it. But like, they don't know they're doing it. They can't stop the manifestations from happening. They have no clue that they're standing in front of you manifesting this. They don't know, because they've been doing it the whole time. Only you haven't been seeing it. But once you get to a point where you're starting to see it, and then your chosen one stands in front of you and smiles, it's like, oh, there you are again. Yeah, I see you. I see you. That puts one of the worst narcissistic injuries and fears into them, because they don't know what you're talking about. You're not alluding to anything. You're not telling them. You're just saying, oh, I see you. And they're left wondering, what the heck is going on? This wasn't like this before, and he sees me. What is he seeing? And dude, I'm telling you, just like when I met the narcissist was in collapse. And I took and elevated that narcissist up into a glow up, gave that narcissist a beautiful life. I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, when that stuff snapped and I started to elevate, it wasn't just a little bit. I shot through the roof like a slingshot. And I was way up there. I was way up there. And everything the narcissist was going through was descending. It was all breaking. It was all being revoked. The repo man was coming. And their whole house of cards failed. Fell down. And I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, and the abuse that I went through, I was quiet, I was solemn, and I didn't say very much. But when I said stuff, I inflicted massive narcissistic injuries with the stuff that I said in my love, hoping that that would be what would wake up the narcissist or change the narcissist. And I had a very specific last encounter with my narcissist that I think was God ordained. And it was super abusive. It was super abusive, and I saw the black eyes again in broad daylight in a barbershop, by the way. And, what ends up happening is because they try and steal your identity, because they try and wear you like a jacket, and because they have a harem of all these people, all these relationships, these people they have sex with, they have all these jackets in the closet, and they have all these identities that they like to try and put on and wear. When you break from them, they can't wear you anymore. They try and pretend to be like you. They try and go to church and pretend to be like you. They try and go out and wear you. But once you cut the bond, once you cut the ties, they don't have the energy to be like you anymore. They don't have the right to have you, to be you anymore. They might have learned a couple things that they can fake, but they lose it. They lose that seducing power, that enticing power that they have to take somebody who's good and go out and do evil with what is good. And that's the will of the Lord, is to cut these demons off from people that they latch onto, from people that they mimic, they shapeshift. They steal identities of people. And they go out and they do more evil with the identity of somebody else. They steal energy, they steal identities, and they go and spread that around like it's them. They're a parasite. And so what ultimately ends up happening is everything recovers. Everything resets itself. Only in the end, with a chosen one. In the end, the chosen one becomes extra anointed, extra blessed, and extra awakened. And the narcissist loses anything and everything that they have to do the evil that they've been doing. They are never going to get another one source of supply that fills all their needs. Instead of having one source of supply, they're going to now have to go out and chase 8 sources of supply to get what they need. Because they're going to need somebody to prop them up financially. They're going to need somebody to prop them up with their admiration, their praise. They're going to need somebody to abuse, because they're going to always have to be abusing somebody, projecting onto somebody. They're going to have an emotional trash can. They're going to have somebody for sex. They're going to have all these people to meet all this, that, and the other, when they had one person. They actually was with a chosen one. They actually had someone that was a safe place, a perfect relationship where they could give up and stop what they had. Where they could put the mask down, lay their head safely, and be cared for. And they fumbled it. Not only did they fumble it, But they tried to take the life of the chosen one, thinking that if they sacrificed the chosen one, that they could keep him. God ain't having that. God will not be mocked. So what ends up happening? What ends up happening is the chosen one becomes the benchmark. The one by which the narcissist has to gauge everybody else by. The criteria that nobody else will ever meet again. So they rage on people. They become more toxic, trying to extract that supply out of every source that they could never get out of the chosen one, because they didn't know who they had. They didn't know who they were messing with. They didn't know that they had God with them. They're trying to extract toxicity out of toxic people to make it good. God gave them their last chance, and they're going to find that out the hard way, that they will never have what they had ever again, and it destroys them because they think they're worth so much. They think they did all that. They thought it was them. They thought it was their blessings, their strength. They got all puffed up. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And all that witchcraft and all that evil stuff and all that supply that they spent, all those efforts they spent with that manipulation to steal what they stole, to do what they did, it all up in the end ends up worth nothing, just like them. Anyways, that's my thoughts on this one, guys. I appreciate you guys' support. I try and do the best I can with these videos to just make organic stuff. I don't usually write stuff down or anything like that. I just speak from what I know, from what I've seen, and I hope that it always reaches who it needs. So, you guys keep subscribing, you guys keep liking. Until the next one, you guys be blessed.